fun එක next level කරන dialogue fan blaster.
Tonight, on First at 9 this Wednesday, the 11th of December 2024. The terminal decision. Adani drops request for US financing to fund the Colombo West International Terminal project. Contagion. Unidentified fever claims 5 lives in Jaffna. Pediatricians reveal an alarming rise in viral fever, hepatitis and pneumonia among children. Pfizer's foray. Amid tug of war for the last NDF nationalist seat, the Election Commission gazettes Pfizer Mustafa's name as an MP under the gas cylinders banner. Policy hyperopia. Need proper policies to digitize Sri Lanka, asserts Sri Lankan Ambassador for Science, Technology and Innovation. Reclaiming lost glory. US envoy promises to further assist Sri Lanka in restoring its heritage.
2025 next year, we're looking forward to continuing our partnership to fund a new project at another World Heritage Site.
The Candian King's Palace restored and reopened with US assistance.
Chilo Dairy, Sri Lankawama Kiren Perata. Obe Vishwasi denu Sensodyne, then Langamati Pharmacy in Labagata Hacker.
Kanta පරිස්සම් කරගත්තොත් අපි පරිස්සම්.
Asian Paints Causeway Aquasave Vesat Mattuig Gedarat Disney.
This is Ada Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Ada Derana First at 9. I'm Aditya Adrisinghe joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Now in your top story this evening, the Ministry of Health raised concerns over the spread of an unidentified fever in Jaffna, which has claimed the lives of 5 people so far. The Health Ministry requests the public to seek immediate medical attention if symptoms such as fever, severe headache and acute muscle pain arise. With the recent adverse weather patterns, pediatricians also pointed to an uptick in viral fever among children. The Jaffna hospital disclosed that the death toll from the unidentified fever spreading in Jaffna has risen to 5 as of today. Director of the Jaffna hospital, Dr. T. Satyamurthy, revealed that the victims aged between 20 and 65 succumbed to fever and respiratory complications. One of the patients was admitted to the Jaffna Teaching Hospital after developing several symptoms, while 3 others were transferred to the Jaffna Teaching Hospital from the base hospital in Point Pedro and 1 from the Mullaitivu Hospital.
அண்மைய நாட்களில் 5 இறப்புகள் பதியப்பட்டுள்ளன.
5 persons were reported dead during the past few days. Several young people are also among the deceased. They were hospitalized due to fever and respiratory complications. Treatments were given to 2 to 3 days. However, it was no use. Blood samples of the patients were also sent to Colombo for further testing to confirm the diagnosis. The illness is suspected to be leptospirosis. However, it is possible that this could be another viral fever as well.
Meanwhile, addressing a news briefing today, several representatives of the Health Promotion Bureau revealed an increase in the spread of leptospirosis, also known as rat fever, due to the recent inclement weather which prompted heavy flooding in many parts of the country.
තද බල ඇඟපත වේදනාව, තද හිස රදය, ඇස් රතු වීම වගේ මූලික රෝග ලක්ෂණ ඇති වෙනවා නම් මේ වගේ අවදානම් නිරාවරණයකට යොමු වෙච්ච පුද්ගලයෙක්ට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අපිට සැක කරන්න පුළුවන් මේක මියුන රෝගය කියලා. ඇත්තටම අපි මහ ජනතාවගෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා මේ වෙලාවේදී මේ වගේ රෝග ලක්ෂණ ඇති වුණොත් වෛද්‍යවරයෙක් හමු වෙලා වෛද්‍ය ප්‍රතිකාර වලට යොමු වෙන්න. යාපනයේ මොනවාරි සිද්ධ වාර්තා වුණාද මියුන සම්බන්ධයෙන්? යාපනයේ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ගත්තොත් දැනට හඳුනා නොගත්ත උණ රෝග තත්ත්වයක් ඒ වගේම ශ්වසන රෝග ලක්ෂණත් ඒ රෝගේ පවතිනවා. ඉතින් මොකද මේ වැහි බර කාලගුණයේ සත්‍යයත් එක්ක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අර අපි ඉන්ෆ්ලුවෙන්සා රෝගී තත්ත්වය, මියුන රෝගී තත්ත්වය, ඩෙන්ගු රෝගී තත්ත්වය කියන එක බහුල වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට මේ වෙනකොට අපි ඒ උණ රෝගීන් අදාළ පරීක්ෂණ වලට යොමු කරමින් තත්ත්වය තහවුරු කර ගැනීම එක යෙදෙනවා. තාම හරියටම නිශ්චිත විදිහට පරීක්ෂණ වලින් අනාවරණය වෙලා නැහැ මියුනම අඩුමයි කියලා.
Pediatricians also point out that during this period there is an increase in viral fever, hepatitis and pneumonia among children.
පසුගිය සති කීපය තුළ පැවති වර්ෂාපතනයත් ජල ගැලීමත් සීතල තත්ත්වයක් නිසා වෛරස් උණ කීපයක් පැතුරුණා. මෙතනදී ඉන්ෆ්ලුවෙන්සා A සහ B කියන වෛරස් එකත් තවත් ඉහළ සුසන මාර්ගයේ වෛරස් උණ කීපයකුත් පැතුරුණා. මීට පසු කාලීනව ළමයි අතර ළමා හතියේ යම්කිසි වැඩිවීමක් ඇති වුණා. ඊටත් අමතරව නියුමෝනියා තත්ත්වෙත් වැඩිවීමක් ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා.
පිරිපුන් ජීවිතයකට ඔබ සමගින් පෙරට Union Assurance.
Welcome to Cinnamon Life, South Asia's biggest entertainment hub, where awe awaits.
චන්දුරුසුමේ කාගෙන් මන අපේ සිංහ TV සඳහා සුපිරි ඩීල්.
Sadaharita Plantations Limited, celebrating 22 years of your trust.
Aspirations Education, a pioneer in overseas education. Meet our experts at top destinations worldwide. Your trusted and caring partner in overseas education.
Now, India's Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Limited said it has withdrawn a request for financing from the United States International Development Finance Corporation, or DFC, for construction of the Colombo West International Terminal project in Sri Lanka. In a filing on India's Bombay Stock Exchange, Adani Ports said the project will be financed through the company's internal accruals and capital management plan. According to the company, the project remains on schedule and is expected for commissioning by early next year. Adani Group, controlled by Indian billionaire Gautam Adani, holds a 51% stake in the West Container Terminal of the Colombo Port, which also has a terminal run by China Merchants Port Holdings Co. Limited. Sri Lankan conglomerate John Keel's Holdings owns 34% of the terminal, and the rest is held by state-run Sri Lanka Ports Authority. The USDFC said last year that it would finance the project through a $533 million loan. The total cost of the project is estimated at $700 million. Adani's decision to withdraw a request for financing from the DFC follows a New York indictment last month where US authorities accused Adani Group chairman Gautam Adani and 7 others of being part of a $265 million scheme to bribe Indian officials and of misleading US investors while raising funds there. Adani Group has termed the allegations baseless and said it would seek all possible legal recourse.
Fast track your career from O-levels with eSoft.
Diabetol, සීනිවලින් පරිස්සම් වන ඔබට අමතක නොවන පෝෂණය.
Prime Group, ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වතාවට හඳුන්වා දෙන land leasing, ලේසියෙන් මීටමක්.
Single 1111 up to 60% off from the 11th November to the 17th of November.
Kalani wire, කිසිගින්නක් නෑ.
කිසිගින්නක් නෑ. Kalani Fire Shield Wire.
Sri Lankan Ambassador for Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Bandula Vijay, reiterates the government's responsibility to enforce proper legislation in place to bolster the country's digitization efforts and to ensure that each digital transaction boosts the economy. Speaking in Colombo, Dr. Vijay emphasized the significance of acquiring more human resources from various industries to enhance Sri Lanka's initiatives in digital connectivity.
The inauguration of the International Conference on Sustainable and Digital Business 2024 and ICSDB Excellence Awards 2024, organized by Slit Business School, was held in Colombo yesterday evening. The keynote address was delivered by Sri Lankan Ambassador for Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Bandula Vijay.
Digitalization, automation, and now the use of artificial intelligence is helping streamline production processes across sectors, manufacturing and services. The issue of sustainability and digitalization is relevant to all of us. We, the present generation, must now take a stand and take a hit if need be and ensure we use resources sustainably in order to ensure that future generations have a place to live, thrive and prosper.
Digitalization, it's about interconnecting them in a transparent, efficient and inclusive manner. And this is something that I think is very, very important to develop in Sri Lanka. That we have to break down these silos and open our arms and accept people from other fields to come and work with you. We are a nation poised for transformation. We have an opportunity now today. And let's try to use this opportunity to make this change. Digitalization is providing to be a game changer altogether. In my last trip to China, I never used any money. All my transactions, everything happened digital. That's the level of digital connectivity that we need not only in Sri Lanka but also in the United States. And Sri Lanka right now is in the perfect juncture to embark on this journey. I can confidently say that our country is among the most fortunate in the world. Our IQ level is 110. It's high in the world. So we are very smart people that we must use so that we can develop not only our nation, but we can contribute to humanity for the whole world. You have to have the right mind so that you can do disruptive development. Come up with the new ideas. Come up with ideas that do not exist. The success of our digitalization effort depends on how well these pillars are integrated. So one of the most important things is that this is not that you can do in compartment. This digitalization should not be done in. I think if Sri Lanka is going forward with this, do it all integrated so that this business, these transactions can talk to these transactions and vice versa and so on. Everything is totally integrated. So that requires, it's not something you can do by yourself. You have to have the government to come in and set up policies so that you say you have to have this all in one place. As you go forward, move forward on this ideology, you must work with the government and come up with a team that will establish some baseline criteria how to put this together. To make this vision a reality, we need an unwavering commitment from all stakeholders, especially the government, the businesses, technology providers. This digital business is not something you can turn on a switch and say, okay, now we have a digital. It's a slow process. You have to have a policy in place and a map already laid out how to do it. Together we had the opportunity to redefine Sri Lanka's economic landscape, ensuring every digital transaction strengthens our economy and serves our. Nothing could be better than what you're trying to do.
Now, US Ambassador Julie Chung states that the restored Old Kandyan King's Palace and Archaeological Museum in Kandy could serve as a gateway for promoting cultural tourism in Sri Lanka. Speaking at the reopening of the restored palace today, the ambassador also announced that the United States plans to fund the restoration of another cultural heritage site in the coming year. Meanwhile, the Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Professor Hiniduma Sunil Senavi, who also attended the event, emphasized that the new government is committed to allocating additional funds for archaeological research in the country. The Old Kandyan King's Palace and Archaeological Museum, located within the sacred temple at the Tooth Relic Complex, was reopened today following its restoration through a joint project by the US Embassy, the Ministry of Culture and the Department of Archaeology. The project was funded by a grant of USD $265,000 from the US Ambassador's Fund for Cultural Preservation. The reopening ceremony was attended by US Ambassador Julie Chung and the Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Professor Hiniduma Sunil Senavi.
I should convey my and my government gratitude for great donation actually for your country and especially Ambassador's Fund. As a government also we intend to allocate our Lions Part allocations to study or understand what kind of past we had. There are many good research actually we have. We have many unresearched zones and researchable hypotheses. I believe this museum also might have a good evidences and some new paths open today to visit what kind of great heritage we had. I suppose the culture and the cultural interference or activities that may be the bedrock of socio-political notions.
The Kandyan King's Palace, as we know, and more than the 7,000 pieces of art are now securely housed in the refurbished museum, showcases the joint friendship between the United States and Sri Lanka. Because of our work here, the Old Kandyan King's Palace remains the only royal palace in Sri Lanka with even a roof that's restored to its original design. UNESCO declared this place to be an outstanding universal value, and it stands as a gateway for both Sri Lankans and global visitors to explore the depth of the country's history while supporting cultural tourism. We remain dedicated to collaborating on more projects together to honor Sri Lanka's heritage. In 2025, next year, we're looking forward to continuing our partnership to fund a new project at another World Heritage Site.
Meanwhile, the US ambassador participated in the celebration of the 20th anniversary of the American Corner in Kandy yesterday. The American Corner in Kandy, established in 2005, serves as a cultural and educational hub in Sri Lanka's central province, offering free programs focusing on US information, culture and language. Over 200,000 visitors and 7,000 students have benefited from approximately 4,000 programs, highlighting the strong US-Sri Lanka partnership.
Now, we all heard the new president, Anura Kumara Dissanayake, recently talk about unity. Your president said there is no room for racism or extremism in this country. We want to celebrate all your differences and diversity and bring together everybody into one unified, peaceful community. And that's why I'm so proud that the American Corners have been able to contribute to that vision. Bringing people together, no matter what your background, language, religion, economic level, whether you're a man or a woman, whatever it is, we want to bring people together.
Now, the Consumer Affairs Authority today began carrying out raids across the country in order to identify rice retailers defying the government's newly announced controlled prices. The rice shortage in the market, the government recently revised the maximum retail prices stipulated for varieties of rice by 10 rupees a kilogram. Chairman of the Consumer Affairs Authority, Hemanta Samarakun, noted that any pricing irregularities or unjust prices can be reported to the Consumer Affairs Authority through the hotline 1977.
Following last week's discussions between President Anura Dissanayake, officials from the Ministry of Trade, Commerce, Food Security and Cooperative Development and rice traders, an extraordinary gazette was issued specifying the new maximum retail and wholesale prices for rice. The wholesale price of a kilo of nadu is 225 rupees and the retail price is 230. The wholesale price of a kilo of white rice is 215 and the retail price is 220. The wholesale price of a kilo of samba rice is 235 and the retail price is 240. The wholesale price of a kilo of kiri samba is 255 and the retail price remains unchanged at 260. The retail price of a kilo of imported nadu rice remains at 220. Accordingly, the officers of the Consumer Affairs Authority inspected several shops selling rice wholesale on 5th Cross Street, Petard today. The operation followed complaints alleging unethical practices, including hoarding of rice stocks. Against this backdrop, the chairman of the Consumer Affairs Authority, Hemanta Samarakun, warned of stern actions against retailers violating the price regulation.
ඒ අනුව පවිසින් අද දින සිට වැටලීම් කටයුතු සිදු කිරීමට පටන් ගන්නවා. එම සහල් මිල ඉක්මවා යම්කිසි වෙළඳ ව්‍යාපාරිකයෙක් හෝ ඔග සපයන්නෙක් හෝ නිෂ්පාදකවරයෙක් සහල් අලෙවි කරනවා නම් ඒ සඳහා අපි නීත්‍යානුකූලව කටයුතු කිරීමට අද සිට පියවර ගන්නවා. කිසියම් හෝ අකටයුත්තක් අසාධාරණයක් හෝ අධික මිලකට විකුණනවා නම් පාරිභෝගික අධිකාරිය 1977 අංකයට පැමිණිලි කිරීමේ හැකියාව තියෙනවා.
Now, the Election Commission of Sri Lanka has issued a gazette notification confirming that President's Counsel Faiza Mustafa has been elected as a Member of Parliament through the national list of the New Democratic Front. However, a dispute has arisen within the New Democratic Front regarding the nomination of Faiza Mustafa for the national list MP position. Coalition partners have alleged that the decision was made without a proper consultation. The NDF, which contested under the symbol of the gas cylinder during the 2024 general elections, secured 2 national list seats. One national list seat claimed by the NDF was filled by former Minister Ravi Karunanayake of the UNP. Meanwhile, the New Democratic Front had nominated Faiza Mustafa for the remaining national list seat yesterday. Subsequently, his name was gazetted by the Election Commission today.
පළවෙනි පත් කිරීම පක්ෂයේ හෝ කණ්ඩායමේ එකඟතාවයක් ඇතුව නෙමෙයි සිද්ධ වුණේ. නමුත් දෙවෙනි පත් කිරීම සිද්ධ වුණා. දෙවෙනි පත් කිරීමට අදාළව ප්‍රධාන පක්ෂ 4ක් තමයි MOU එකට අත්සන් කරලා තිබුණේ. ඒ පක්ෂ 4න් 3ක් ලිඛිතව ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඊයේ පත් කරපු අපේ മന്ത്രിවරයාගේ නමට එකඟයි කියලා. ඉතින් 4න් 3ක් කියන්නේ ඔහු පත් කරන්නේ නෝ ප්‍රායෝගිකව. හින්ද ඒ පත් කිරීම සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ පිළිබඳව දැනට පක්ෂයේ විසින් කණ්ඩායමක් දාලා තොරතුරු හොයාගෙන යනවා. පළවෙනි පත් කිරීමටත් කමිටුවක් දාලා තොරතුරු හොයාගෙන යනවා. දෙවෙනි පත් කිරීමේට අදාළ මේ කාරණා සත්‍යද අසත්‍යද කියන කාරණා සොයයි.
අත්දැකීම් සහිත ඒ වගේම ව්‍යවස්ථාමය වශයෙන් නීතිමය වශයෙන් ජනාධිපති නීතිඥයෙක්
වශයෙන්ුත් එවැගේම මුස්ලිම් ජනතාව නියෝජනය කිරීම. එවැගේම ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ දේශපාලන මණ්ඩලය සහ ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ නායකයෙක් නිසා පක්ෂය නියෝජනය කිරීම මේ හැම පැත්තම බලලා තමයි අපි එතුමගේ නම යෝජනා කරේ. අපි හිතනවා ඒ සඳහා අපිට නව ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී පෙරමුණේ අපේ සන්දානයේ හිටපු සියලුම පක්ෂ සහයෝගය දක්වලා තියෙනවා.
අපි ගිය රැස්වීම් කීපයක්ම හැමදාම වගේ ඕක සාකච්ඡා වුණා. හැබැයි කිසිම මොහොතකදී ඔයගේ තීන්දුවක් ගැන නම් අපිට ප්‍රකාශ කෙරුවේ නැහැ. මේ සියලු දෙනාම එක්ක වෙලා තීන්දුව කරන්න ඕන දේවල් සමහර මිනිස්සු ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කාමරයට අරගෙන මේක විශ්ලේෂණය ගැන අපේ කනගාටුව ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
Now, the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka is to announce its decision on the proposed electricity tariff revision on the 17th of January next year. The PUCSL said public consultations on the proposed tariff revision is scheduled from the 17th of December. Accordingly, the general public can submit opinions regarding the tariff revision virtually or in writing before the 8th of January next year. Welcome back. Now on your business news, Sri Lanka's gross official reserves fell marginally to $6.462 billion at end November this year from $6.472 billion a month earlier. Gross official reserves include balances of the Treasury. In November, the central bank bought $374 million from banks in a bid to boost government foreign reserves. Now, at the weekly T-bill auction today, central bank raised 206 billion rupees, fully accepting the total amount offered. At all three maturities experienced oversubscriptions at today's T-bill auction, with total bids exceeding total offered amounts by 23 times. Meanwhile, the weighted average yield rate saw a slight downturn across the board, where 3-month, 6-month and 1-year maturing T-bills experienced declines of 4 basis points, 6 basis points and 1 basis point respectively. In the secondary market, market participants maintained bullish momentum prior to the T-bond auction due tomorrow. As a result, the secondary market saw continued buying interest throughout the day trading, generating moderate volumes. Amongst the traded maturities, notable trades occurred in the 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030 and 2031 maturities. On the external front, the rupee appreciated against the US dollar, crossing at 290.31 against the greenback compared to 290.36 recorded the previous day. Central bank's holdings of government securities remained unchanged, closing at 2,515.62 billion today. Overnight liquidity in the banking system increased to 234.79 billion from 188.91 billion recorded the previous day. Now, meanwhile, the Colombo Stock Exchange experienced another day of positive sentiment and increased gains, closing in green for the 12th consecutive day. After yesterday's volatile trading, market rebounded strongly with significant gains today. Amidst the increased participation from retail and high net worth investors, the ASPI closed the day in green at 13,885, gaining 110 points. The most significant contributors towards the positive index were Ceylon Beverage Holdings, LOLC, Sampath Bank and Melster Corp and Jol Keels Holdings. Additionally, specific stocks in the capital goods and diversified financials such as JKH continue to attract investor interest throughout the day. Amidst multiple off-board transactions, turnover was at a 3-week high of 6 billion rupees, marking an increase of 47.6% from the monthly average of 4.1 million rupees. The capital goods sector led the turnover by 29%, followed by diversified financial and materials sector jointly contributing 26% of the overall turnover. There was a net foreign outflow of 393.9 million rupees, signaling interest in external investments. That's all the news we have for you tonight. Thank you. Have a great night.